think let's go ahead and get started.
Sorry. Okay.
No, that's fine. Welcome to room 2 and our session on leadership opportunities. And we're going to focus on club and district opportunities this morning. But I will share just a bit about the zone and give you just a flavor of what kinds of higher level opportunities there are beyond our district too. So let me share my screen for a few slides. Hopefully you have a slide coming up. Okay, I see some head nods. This will be a little tag team with Laura and me, but because of her allergies, I'll do the majority of the talking this morning. Whoops, we're jumping ahead. Uh, so uh, let's pop up to a higher level for a moment. And of course, as you know, in Rotary, we invest a lot of time in training and development. And we really do that so that no matter what leadership position you're put into or that you accept to be put into, that you are given the training and the mentoring and the coaching in order to be successful in that role and to add value in that role. And that's part of what we're doing last Saturday morning and this Saturday morning. That happens for district governors, it happens for RI directors, it happens for Rotary International presidents, that there's a series of training programs for all of us, no matter what role. Our Rotary structure I've intentionally put here at the top of the page are Rotary and Rotaract clubs. And I do that very intentionally because, as you know, we're a very decentralized organization. And Rotary really happens in our clubs. Sometimes I'll have people say to me, well, Rotary ought to tell all the clubs, blah, 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 to do X, Y, or Z. And I have to explain that, well, in Rotary, we don't really have edicts and mandates. We have um, requests and suggestions, but the rest of the Rotary organization really exists to support us in our clubs and the kinds of activities that we're doing in the clubs. And many of our Rotary programs, for example, RILA, started as a good idea by somebody in a club. And they did that. It was valuable. It was impactful. Uh, they shared that with other clubs. Other clubs adopted it. Then districts adopted it. And now it's really a pervasive program through Rotary. So those are really why we show our clubs at the top of the picture. Our clubs and our Rotary and Rotaract clubs, of course, are governed by boards of directors. And you'll hopefully already know that a few years ago, we elevated Rotaract clubs to be full members of Rotary. So they actually pay a small amount of dues. And of course, we operate sort of as a franchise or under the umbrella of Rotary International. Rotary International is also governed by a board of directors. And associated, of course, with Rotary International is our Rotary Foundation, and the Rotary Foundation is governed by a board of trustees. Our Rotary clubs, we'll talk a little more about this, are organized into districts. So we'll talk a lot about our specific district in a few minutes. Those districts generally have in the range of about 1,500 to 2,200 Rotary members. Uh, and and then our districts are organized into zones. So we, for example, are part of Zone 26. Our zones nowadays are paired together. So Zone 26 and 27 really operate together. And there are 30 districts in Zones 26 and 27. And then there's a Rotary International Director that gets elected from Rotary Zones 26 and 27, and that's the person who sits on the Rotary International Board of Directors who represents us. There are leadership roles also in the zone. There are zone coordinators. We're not going to talk about that really today, but just so you're aware, there are zone leader roles in addition to these Rotary International roles. Of course, at the club level, our club leaders are really about organizing and facilitating our clubs to take action. And you're going to get tired of hearing me this year talk about the Rotary Action Plan and how we're implementing that plan within each of our clubs to take action. And that's increasing our reach, or expanding our reach, increasing our impact, enhancing participant engagement, and increasing our ability to adapt. And that's all as we move year after year farther toward this vision of together we unite and create lasting change across the globe in the communities and in ourselves. I just mentioned our goals and action plans. Our club leadership this year will be implementing all of our goals, or setting our goals and our action plans according to these 4 strategic pillars. So when you go into Rotary Club Central this year, the goals have actually been organized into these 4 categories. So each club will pick and choose among those 4 categories which goals are most relevant for them and that they want to work on in the coming year. Their action plans then should directly align to which goals they have picked in that set of categories. So for example, under expand our reach, if you set a goal that your club is going to have a net positive 2 members at the end of the year, then you're going to have a set of action plans of what is it that your club is actually going to do during the year, so that by the end of the year, you have a net positive 2. So pretty simple and clear. Over time, we've called this strategic planning, vibrant clubs, various names. This year, simple, clear, it's the Rotary Action Plan and these 4 strategic pillars. And this is being used at Rotary International, it's being used in our district, and it's being used at our club. So part of our club leadership, our boards of directors, our avenue of service chairs are all working together now to set goals and action plans in these 4 categories. You're probably already aware in our clubs, of course, there are some really critical leadership positions. And in Rotary, we have the opportunity to go try new things and develop new skills, learn new things. So of course, the president is the overall leader and orchestrator for the club, but we have vice presidents. We also have president-elects and president nominees. You've probably seen in Rotary International, we have a continuity of people moving into the Rotary International president role. So this year we have Gordon McAnally. Next year we'll have Stephanie Yurchik. And then the year after that, we'll have Mario from Brazil. Our series there is working, that presidential line works together so that if one person starts a program, we don't necessarily just drop that at the end of their year and start all new programs the next year. We're increasingly having the team agree on what are some programs and priorities that we're going to work on for multiple years. And so we're doing the same thing at our district level with our district governor line, and we need to increasingly do that more and more in our clubs with our club presidential line. In some cases, our clubs are having presidents that serve a couple years as a term, which is fine, but we also need to think about succession planning and continuity. So who's going to follow the current president and who's going to follow that person, so that we operate as a team and that we have continuity in what we're doing in our clubs as well. Secretary Treasurer, critical roles, and then the board of directors and the committee chairs in our clubs. Typical club committee structure, and this will vary from club to club. This is sort of a model of what a mid-sized club might look like, where you'd have some key functions around club administration, membership, public image, Rotary Foundation, and service projects. A larger club, you may have different avenue of service committees and committee chairs. A smaller club, you may have a smaller number of committees. But those committees are great opportunities, and where we need leadership people to step up and serve and say, hey, I will take care of leading youth service for our club in the coming year, or I will take care of leading international service in the coming year. And we have training. We'll talk more about the online training resources that are available, in addition to these kinds of learning assemblies that we have. Another key role, and we had a session on that this morning, is the club learning facilitator. So helping your club members learn and develop. And we all develop new skills as we rotate around to these different roles over time. And one of the things that, of course, Rotary was founded upon was this notion of rotating. They rotated around to each other's offices to have meetings, but then they also rotated around positions. And it was a development opportunity and a networking opportunity to learn new skills and to be able to apply those skills then back in your business life, your professional life. And then, of course, we have the club officers and directors that oversee that. So I mentioned earlier that our clubs are organized into districts. In our case, it's pretty simple and clear. Our state is a district, and our district number is District 5000. We currently have on the official records 1,475 Rotarians and 28 Rotaractors. That's spread across 52 Rotary clubs in our district, plus 4 satellite clubs, 3 Rotaract clubs, and we also have 40 Interact clubs on our records that are being sponsored in high schools all around our district, which is our state. So that leads us to district leadership. And district leadership is us. It's not that we don't belong to clubs or that there's some different secret organization that you get into to be district leadership. District leadership is those of us in clubs from all of the different islands who step up to take some district role and to not only think about and do things on behalf of our particular club, but to do things on behalf of all of the clubs in our district. So at the leadership team for our district is the district governor. We have a vice governor. We have a district governor-elect, a district governor nominee. So just like we talked about presidents, we have a district governor line. We are increasingly over time operating as a team. So we discuss key initiatives, key decisions, and we agree together. And many of those initiatives then will continue across our Rotary years. We have, and then the district governor nominee designate, I also should have called out there. So those are the people in line to be the district governor. We have a chief of staff, we have a secretary, a treasurer. We have 11 assistant governors. We're actually in our district, we rely a lot on our assistant governors. I think in large part because we are distributed across islands. We've always had a lot of need for our assistant governors, and they've played a key role. But I see more and more districts within our zone increasing the importance and the utilization of assistant governors. So assistant governors are really the eyes and ears for the district governor. They're very close to usually about 5 clubs in their particular area. They get to know the presidents really well. They visit the clubs. They're a conduit of information back and forth with the rest of the district and their clubs. And then we have a whole big set of district committee chairs and administration leaders. It turns out in order to support and enable and train 52 clubs and 1,500 members, it takes a lot of us. So we all work together to make that happen. So the district governor is a role that if you're interested, you express your interest, you go to your club and you say to your club you'd like to be nominated, and then your club will say, yeah, we support your nomination, and they will sign a form and forward that into our district nominating committee. The role of the district governor is strengthening our clubs. It's looking out for all 52 of our clubs. It's looking at how do we grow the district with our membership, with our Rotary Foundation donations, increasing and empowering our organization. I see the view of the role of the district governor as well as all of our district committees. Number one, to be support and enable the clubs. So we're here really to help the clubs accomplish their goals. So helping them with their goal setting, their action planning, and then their implementation and execution against those goals. We conduct district conference. So I'm already working with a whole team of people on our 2025 district conference. We of course, have a district nominating process that this year Nalani Flynn will be the chair of our nominating committee. We work on the district budget that we do jointly with our district finance committee. We oversee grant qualifications. We conduct this district action planning. So that's a key thing to make sure that our clubs have those goals and plans in place. Where we have clubs sometimes that have struggled, it seems to me it's usually because they didn't have their why. They didn't have what was their purpose, what was their focus, what were their goals and their objectives for the year. And alongside that, then maybe they didn't follow their own bylaws and they ran into some conflict, or they sort of didn't always think about the 4-way test in their interactions with each other. So having an action plan, your bylaws, the 4-way test are really good foundational elements that we need to focus on. So you can read the rest of the list there about supporting struggling clubs, as I just said, recognizing our members. Of course, a part of leadership is encouraging the heart. So it's enabling other people to act, but it's also encouraging people and recognizing people and fostering that continuity that we talked about. Qualifications are you need to be a member in good standing, willingness and commitment to do the role, being able to demonstrate some knowledge of the qualifications and the duties and the responsibilities. And of course, you're expected that you're entering into a multi-year commitment when you put your hat in the ring to serve as our district governor, that you're going to start training. Well, you're going to start doing some things as the district governor nominee designate. Then you're going to do a lot more training when you're the district governor nominee. And then you're going to do a whole lot more training when you're the district governor elect before you ever serve for a year as the district governor. And then when you're the immediate past district governor, you're also going to have a set of responsibilities for another year. So you really need to think about, this is a multi-year thing that you're getting into. And then the last bullet there is actually a great opportunity because if you are selected to be the district governor, in your district governor elect year, you get to go to what's called the International Assembly. Rotary International flies in all of the district governor elects from all around the world. So 530 of us gathered in Orlando, Florida back in January. And it's sort of a cross between a Rotary International Convention and the United Nations. You have transmitters that you're getting simultaneous translation. You're going to breakout sessions with people from all over the world. So it's a great learning and networking opportunity. In the district level, we need lots of people to step up and serve on our committees. There's a few committees there that are asterisks that Rotary International requires us to have, but the rest of this list are our standing committees. So if you have any interest in any of these areas, we can always use more people on our district committees. So feel free to reach out to me and say, hey, I'm interested in being on a district committee, or reach out to any one of our committee chair people and say, hey, I'm interested in serving on your committee. And you will be welcomed with open arms. We can always use more hands, more talent, and more attention on our committees. So to give you a flavor of what our district organization looks like, this is the current status of where we are with our district organization for coming into 24-25. At the top of the page is me. Alongside me, though, is a whole PDG advisory council that meets 4 times a year. So our past district governors get together and they give us advice and counsel. We have the DG line that we meet every month as a team to work on and discuss key initiatives. And we have, of course, related the Maui Fires Committee, which I put here because that will be an important continuing committee in the coming year. And we have a vice governor, which is Mark. Sean Slentz will serve as our chief of staff. Also a critical role for us this year is our district action plan champion, and Benson Medina will be serving in that role. On the left side in the orange are our 11 assistant governor positions. In the yellow boxes are our administration functions for the district. And in the blue boxes are our different committees, our avenue of service type committees like membership, public image, vocational, community service. And those are all areas that we welcome more participation. Gary, I see you have your hand up. Did you have a question?
Oh, I was trying to text, chat a message to you. Can you share this slide with us?
Yeah, we'll share that along with the recordings after this.
Okay, well, that's
We'll do.
all.
Yeah. So that's where we're at with our organization. Takes a lot of people. If you still have interest, we still have ways that we can use you. To be on a district committee, you are qualified as long as you're an active member in good standing in any club in the district, and you attend a district learning assembly like this, or take an online learning course. Those are all available. So hopefully you will see some things there that spark your interest, that you want to put your hat in the ring. You can learn more about any of these positions. One way is online, and you can do that by logging into My Rotary and going to the Learning Center. There are online courses for all of the key roles in our clubs and in our district. They're pretty easy to use. They're generally, a module might take you 15 or 20 minutes. and you can do them anytime, and you can do one and then come back later and do another one. So it's very flexible. You can also learn more by becoming a participant in the District Leadership Academy. And I see our Dean of the Academy is online with us, Wendy Chang. And the District Leadership Academy is getting together with a cohort, usually around about a dozen people from across the district who are interested in learning everything you always wanted to know about Rotary, but were afraid to ask. And you spend one Saturday morning per month for about 8 months. And you're exposed to all kinds of Rotary experts, as well as some individual mentoring and conversations with our past district governors, who are a wealth of information and insight as well. And so if you're interested in that, Wendy would be the person to follow up with. And
Can I ask a question? Because I can
Sure,
see it. Who are in the Fire Advisory Committee?
I'm sorry, Rick, you cut out. I
The
didn't hear.
Maui Fire. Who are
The-
the people in the Maui Fire Advisory Committee?
I don't have the list right in front of me, but it is all people from your island who are
Okay,
assistant
because I would
governors
love to
and
serve.
presidents.
I would
Dave, I
love to
think
serve in
you've
that.
got-
Only
I
reason.
think you've got less than a minute left.
Yeah.
Rick, why don't you contact Al Wieland? Al
Yes.
Wieland is on that committee.
Okay, I
Okay.
will. Only because I'm with the Mayor's Advisory. I probably have a lot more insight than
Yeah.
some of them.
That would be helpful. Yeah, contact Al Wieland.
Okay, thank you.
Great. So that gets us into any final questions anybody wants to ask. Or Laura, anything else you want to chime in that I didn't cover?
No, I just want to particularly tell the people that are on this training that we need lots of good people at the district level to rise into these leadership positions, and that starts with having really good people at your club level. So what I've seen happen in the district with the continuity has been beautiful these last few years, and they're working really well together. We really need to strive to try to do that in our clubs. Sorry. And good job, Ted. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else? Question or?
So, Ted, on the district level, it's really good if you had people who can raise their Rotary IQ, and one way to do that is through the District Leadership Academy. So Wendy, when does the next one start, and can you tell us a little bit more about the DLA?
Yeah, Ted did a great job of kind of talking about the impact of DLA. We usually start in August with an orientation, but I guess the registration period is typically during the summer. So our current cohort, which includes Sonia and Gary, the graduation is in May at the district conference, and then we immediately start taking applications. So you can see any of the DG line, Naomi, Benson, or myself, if you have any questions or want to join. We'd love for you to join. If you're a past club president, that's really the only basic requirement to be a participant.
Oh, Sonia says,
Can you be a past club president from a different district?
Yes,
Yes.
you can.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was from District 6900.
so
What was
Sonia
that?
reminds that there is homework. So every class there is homework from the Learning Center.
Right.
We try to keep it so you do have one session, 30 minutes per month. You have a mentoring with the past district governor. Thank you, Laura, for being such a great mentor. Everyone says that's one of the best parts. We think we select very easy and quick to do homework assignments to do prior to the session, but we try to keep it very minimal, the time commitment. We know you are all very busy.
And I've done 2 leadership training academies from my previous district. I think I only have one left to go. I'm not sure if you have them in 3 sets, but anyway.
No.
No. Yeah. So, any other questions or other things you want to add? If not, then I would just close with don't be bashful. If you are interested to step up and help do anything at the district level, please do reach out to me. If I haven't reached out to you, I'm more than happy to know that you have an interest. So don't be bashful. Reach out to me or directly to any of our committee chairs.
And I will also add on behalf of the DG line that is not here, that if you look and say, geez, Ted, I'd love to help you this year, but I'm closing my business and really, really busy, but I'd like to get involved next year, reach out to Nancy Cabral, reach out to Benson Medina.
Right.
They will all be looking for the same thing, and you might find that you suddenly have time to do this.
Yeah. And it's a lot of fun
It is.
because, of course, you know about your own club, but you really get to learn and meet so many wonderful people across all of our islands.
Okay.
And it's
Ted,
really inspiring and fun to do that.
definitely you can enlist me on your team for international service or any other place you think you can use
Okay.
me.
Great, Gary. I'll follow up. Thank you. Super. Well, thank you all. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend.
Thank you, Ted. Good training sessions. And thank
Mahalo.
you, Naomi.
Yeah, the
Bye.
whole morning's been very good. Thank you
Yeah.
again to Naomi and
Ted,
Benson.
to Naomi and Bizna.
Yeah.
Best training team in the world. Yay.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks.